Coming up on This Week in Torrance, City Council moves forward with adopting an ordinance that will help solve a decade-long debate.
Then you now have the chance to see what it's like to be a Torrance firefighter firsthand.
Plus, we have exclusive interviews with honorees of a special award.
And a local hospital has a special program designated to help its tiniest patients.
These stories and much more just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now. Hello and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are your top stories. There were loud cheers in the City Council chamber as Torrance City Council moved forward to adopt an ordinance that will regulate vegetation in the community. The process has been a long time coming as community members and council have been trying to come up with an ordinance for more than 2.5 years. Environmental Services Administrator Linda Cessna kicked off the public hearing by sharing the latest draft of the tree ordinance. They added a preamble laying out the broad purpose of it, intent, and a revised definition of vegetation. They also included the removal of a minimum 6-foot height limitation and added that the ordinance would only be applicable to the residential zoning and that both parties must live in the hillside overlay area. Council members agreed guidelines for when a time frame of a view can be reported could date back a minimum of 15 years, and homeowners should have the option of getting professional advice. Other limitations are the number of views claimed can only be for one viewing area. Many residents also spoke at the podium and were grateful for the ordinance moving forward. Next steps will be providing informational handouts and developing a permit tracking system. The ordinance will officially be implemented on April 6th.
The Torrance Refinery plans to invest nearly $100 million to improve operations at their facility. At the recent City Council meeting, it was a packed room that began with the Torrance Refinery Action Alliance addressing concerns about the dangers of hydrofluoric acid. Next on the agenda, the Torrance Refining Company talked about power reliability improvements coming to the refinery in April. A spokesman from the refinery says they're now going to have reliable power through underground lines. They provided a detailed plan of ways they will make operations better. This included shutting down 4 units to be cleaned, inspected, and repaired. They plan to build their own modern, reliable electric system. Torrance Fire Department officials also had a presentation explaining the role they play with making sure the refinery's alkylation unit is operating in a safe way. This comes after a court order was issued for the refinery to manage their alkylation unit in a certain manner. Deputy Fire Chief David Dumais explained what an alkylation unit is and provided more information about HF. Fire Chief Martin Cerna also spoke at the meeting.
We are part of this community. We serve as the first responders and are the first line of defense. I share the same concerns of this community. As your fire department, our top 3 priorities are life safety, environmental protection, and property conservation.
The Office of Cable and Community Relations says they're in the process of hiring employees for their newly created interactive communication officer positions who would work 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. They will be responsible for public information during an emergency and provide accurate information first through Torrance alerts and then other communication platforms.
A former Torrance employee was remembered for his passion to the community, leaving a long-lasting mark on this city. Jim Falk, who served the city of Torrance for more than 30 years, lost his battle to brain cancer earlier this month. Falk raised his family in Torrance and was always involved in coaching his children's sporting endeavors. Falk's life in public service began in the 1960s as a part-time employee operating the lights for the Aquacade at the Benstead Plunge. He soon became a full-time Parks and Recreation Administrator in 1966. Falk served on the city's Planning Commission for 8 years and was known for his protection of trees. Former co-workers say he always gave interested parties an opportunity to be heard and took great pride in his ability to gain the confidence of others. His consistent and balanced approach to decision-making contributed to huge development projects that many still benefit from today, including the Toyota headquarters expansion, the Del Amo Fashion Center Lifestyle Wing, and the Miyako Hybrid Hotel. A memorial service celebrating his life was held on February 25th.
If you've ever been interested in learning what it takes to become a firefighter, well, now's your chance. The Torrance Fire Department has a new Fire Explorer program offered to anyone between the ages of 16 to 21. This is an educational and training opportunity for anyone who'd like to learn and experience more about the fire service. Every Monday night, explorers meet Torrance firefighters and are introduced to new pieces of equipment, learn about work ethic, station life, and integrity that will help prepare them for a successful career in this field. It all takes place at Fire Station 1 on Crenshaw and Carson Street. The explorers are also expected to present training drills to their peers and participate in quarterly training sessions. The Explorer program is designed to be a feeder program into the city's Fire Auxiliary program. Currently, there are 15 explorers that are attending meetings regularly. The program is sponsored through the Learning for Life organization that also sponsors the Torrance Police Department's Explorers program. Now, for more information, you can contact Explorers coordinators that you see on your screen.
Torrance's Transit Department received an A+ rating by California Highway Patrol. Recently, Torrance Transit Bus Terminal underwent their annual inspection and received another satisfactory rating. This means the transit team is certified to continue operating their bus fleet for the new year. Currently, the new Torrance Transit Park and Ride Regional Terminal is under construction near Crenshaw Boulevard and 208th Street. They plan to build a terminal that will have multiple uses. It will be home to 12 buses, including room for 2 60-foot articulating buses.
4 South Bay women are getting recognized for their passion and commitment to helping others in the South Bay. Reporter Hibis Ahmed shares their stories as they are the new group of women being recognized for the 2017 South Bay Women of the Year Award.
We have a pool table, a ping pong table, air hockey, a bunch of computers.
Step by step, recipients of the 2017 South Bay Women of the Year walk through the halls of the Schweitzer Learning Center.
A child will, look up at mom to say, hey, is this okay? And mom will say, oh yeah, that's cool. And you can just see that with body language without even having the verbal part of it.
For some, it was a first-time visit, while for others, it was a familiar place.
The Schweitzer Center has been near and dear to my heart for a long, long time. Having lived in the South Bay and having been a part of this community for over 25 years.
For Marietta Fong, getting involved with different organizations and helping others has always been a rich part of her family history.
It gives life meaning. It's not enough to just go through life without having a purpose.
And it's been a purpose that she continues to follow. Fong runs an accounting firm in Torrance and serves on the board for the Pediatric Therapy Network, Business Advisory Board for Harbor Regional Center, and has dedicated endless hours to the Schweitzer Learning Center.
You know which organizations really make a difference, and the Schweitzer Center has been one of those that's been around for 50 years, and they've just done a tremendous amount of good for children and families who wouldn't have what they've been able to provide as far as education and a real life.
Like Fong, fellow recipient Peggy Tremaine also shares the passion to make lives better for others.
I've loved working with kids both in education and also as a marriage family therapist, working with lots of adolescents and families. Big time fun, very rewarding, so lucky me.
Peggy Tremaine is not only a mother and grandmother, she's worked for more than 2 decades in the education field, especially in the city of Torrance, where she paved the way for other women to take leadership roles as she was the first female principal in the district.
So I was told that a woman couldn't do it. My husband worried because a friend of his thought the athletic teams would go to hell in a handbasket if a woman were principal, so I was terrified the football team would lose.
Leaving a mark in the Torrance Unified School District, Tremaine says it wouldn't be possible without founder Janet Schweitzer, who was one of her first special education teachers in college. Tremaine would later take those skills to help curate programs helping students with special needs.
There was a huge federal movement and state movement to include special ed kids and provide more services. So I got so caught up in that and implementing that program and working with the state of California and the feds even to make the programs better for kids with handicaps.
A rewarding and exciting time that Tremaine still remembers and is looking forward to helping the South Bay community more.
If we have a job we should do with happiness and with glory, we need to take care of other people.
Desire to serve is also a common tie amongst the 4 honorees, like Sue Chen, who runs her family business, Nova.
I found that people are so much more courageous than they even imagine or I even imagine. Sometimes they just need a little bit of support.
Nova creates 820 products a year that empower people who use independent living products. They are unique in offering innovative and stylish products, giving users that added confidence. And after 23 years of running the business, her favorite part has always been the same: education.
That education, so much of that is inspiration, inspiring people that they can do more. And that life, regardless of your age or your place in life, has tremendous potential.
Like Chen, Paula Del Vicario took a tour of the Schweitzer Learning Center for the first time. She has dedicated 17 years to teaching students the art of music.
You give. I mean, I was brought up to use the best of my ability, use my talents, and I like to share them with other people.
Del Vicario is a mother of 4 who says going through the adoption process with all of her children inspired her to get back into the classroom. She was excited to know more about what the Schweitzer Learning Center has to offer.
It's an organization I want to learn more about because as a former educator, I believe in educating every child, and not every child learns in the same manner.
And as these 4 women from different walks of life share the same love for education, philanthropy, and giving back to the South Bay community, they all say they feel honored to be recognized by the Schweitzer Learning Center, a place that does so much for students who need it the most.
I feel honored, I feel very lucky, as I said, and I feel very appreciative to Schweitzer, but also to all the other people I've worked with that have been a part of trying to do good in the world.
I can't wait to go on the tour and meet, the students here, and I'm just, I mean, this is a gem, a place of amazing hope in the South Bay.
Thanks, Sibba. The Schweitzer Learning Center will officially honor the women on March 10th at the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel in Torrance. To buy a ticket, go online to schweitzercenter.org.
Still ahead, stars and local South Bay community members dance the night away, all to give back.
Plus, a well-known hair salon reopens with some of the most high-tech equipment. We'll take you there.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
An annual celebration that highlights the accomplishments of volunteers was back once again. The Torrance Rose Float Association event brought together the community to recognize volunteers who spent endless hours making the Rose Float come to life. The theme for 2017 was Echoes of Success, and the float design was submitted by a local high school student. This year, 24 of the floats in the 228th Rose Parade received official honors. Torrance was one of them, as volunteers brought home the tournament's Volunteers Trophy for the Best Floral Design of Parade Theme for Floats Under 35 Feet category. The dinner honored many volunteers, including special honoree former Torrance Mayor Dee Hardison, who was recognized for her 40 years of Rose Float decorating.
This year, it's my favorite float we've done. It turned out spectacular. And if it wasn't for the attention to detail and the love that you guys all have for what you do, it wouldn't have turned out so good. From the decorators to the organizers, it's not just gluing seeds on, it's making sure everyone gets fed and making sure everyone gets there and making sure there's money to pay for it.
Tim Estes, president of Fiesta Parade Floats, was also in attendance. He oversees the construction of hundreds of floats. This year, the Rose Float Princesses participated in a question and answer segment. Nearly 771 teens tried out and only 7 were named princesses. The Torrance theme for 2018 is the power of kindness. The association is already fundraising for next year's float. If you would like to donate or get in touch with the association, go to torrancerosefloat.org.
An annual quilt show returned to Torrance to highlight some of the best quilt work by locals in the South Bay. The South Bay Quilters Guild hosted their 35th annual quilt show at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. There were more than 150 beautiful quilts on display that symbolize the theme World of Color. Some of the quilts were traditional to more of a modern approach with vibrant colors. This year was extra special as they had a memorial exhibit for one of their members, Tom Knight, who passed away in December. The Guild also shared their philanthropic efforts, which includes quilts that are sent directly to combat hospitals in Afghanistan for critically wounded warriors. Also, yearly, the organization creates 750 comfort quilts for hospitals and nursing homes. They also have a program called Read Me a Quilt, which donates to foster children.
Well, the main mission of our guild is to really further education, quilt education in the community. So just keeping this art form alive and bringing people together who share a love for quilting, and just to keep it going in the community. So that's why our outreach programs are very important to us.
Julie says the members share a common love for fabric and quilting as ways to express oneself. They also hosted an auction to fundraise for charitable efforts. Now, if you're interested in quilting, the Guild meets every third Tuesday of the month. Go to southbayquiltersguild.org.
After weeks of practicing, 10 South Bay Stars paired up with 10 professional dancers to bring the annual Dancing with the South Bay Stars to the main stage, raising thousands for several charitable causes. The night started out with some Latin dancing as Yodi Smith and Dennis Conte took the stage to show off their moves. These two were a judge's favorite and took home the audience favorite trophy as well. Next performers were Lorianne Griffiths along with professional dancer Tibor Fober, who performed salsa. Judges gave them one of the highest scores and they took home third place. Our very own senior scene producer and host Hope Witkowski also won a judge's favorite trophy with dancing partner Min Vo. Witkowski and Vo put together choreography that took the 50s rock and roll dance. You go, Hope. After the performance, judges said that Witkowski was a crowd pleaser and very entertaining, calling them one of the best. This team was chosen as the judges' favorite. Other dance partners were Laura Savitz and Jared Hughes. They performed samba and a waltz. They also were titled a judge's favorite. Another highlight of the show was Councilman Mike Griffiths and Gabriela Peraza, who were recognized for their choreography. Judges said they were impressed by the timing and enthusiasm. The top prize of the night went to John McNamara and Alina Sachs, who received the highest combined totals of the judges' scores and votes. The judges' favorites were chosen by each judge who felt they should have been in the top three, but did not have enough votes. This year marks the 6th year the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation has hosted the South Bay Dancing with the Stars event. Invited dancers choose their favorite charity to benefit from the funds raised.
What a great event. Well, some of the organizations include Cancer Support Community, Easton Center for Alzheimer's Research at UCLA, and Community's Child.
The 20th annual Black History Month celebration was underway at the Torrance Marriott recently. The Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, put on the event. It's an opportunity to celebrate the inspiring members of the African American community. The theme this year was dedicated to honorees who are true trailblazers and change makers in the world of sports, entertainment, education, community, activism, and military. 7 honorees were recognized in the categories of legacy, inspirational spirit, business leadership, professional spirit, leadership and community commitment, and humanitarian. A variety of vendors displayed their products from handcrafted jewelry designs to Hazel's creative cards. People also showed support to the Tuskegee Airmen and Buffalo Soldiers. The event was sponsored by many local businesses, including Toyota, American Honda, and Pelican Products, to name a few.
An emerging playwright brought her life experiences to the stage recently at the George Nakano Theater.
You can't fly a kite at the beach? You cool? Yeah. This is Blake.
The staged reading Face to the Sun, which was written by Alison Minami, is set in Havana, Cuba at the dawn of the Cuban Revolution. Face to the Sun is a lyrical play with a multicultural cast. The lead character, Hamada, is an upstanding leader of the Japanese-Cuban community and is fearful of another war-driven imprisonment by the Cuban government. He decides to return to Japan with his family, but there's a twist as he faces challenges with loved ones. He invites his wife and daughter, who refuse to come with him. Eventually, Hamada's wife urges her daughter to go with her father because of the revolution that is unfolding.
Torrance has a very high population of Japanese Americans, and many of the older generations, the Nisei and the Issei, they have lived through the history of internment in this country, and I think there are a lot of parallels.
Minami's inspiration to write this play comes from her own experiences during her trip to Cuba through the Suki Makai organization that helps with intercultural exchange experiences. Minami says people may be surprised that there is a Japanese-Cuban population that exists there, and during World War II, Japanese in Cuba were imprisoned. Minami hopes to turn her playwright into a production one day. The event was sponsored by the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation.
A longtime beauty salon in Torrance celebrates another milestone. Owners Chang and Sun Lee cut the official ribbon with city officials and the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce at the newly renovated hair salon Ziva. The Lees have had their salon for 20 years at the same location on Sepulveda Boulevard and Maple Avenue. More recently, they remodeled and expanded Ziva with new beauty equipment. The salon has grown from just 5 working stations to now 4 times its original size.
Torrance is a wonderful city, and we have great people, and then also customers. Also, we have a lot of talented hairstylists as well.
My salon is really good to place to come enjoy and be beautiful, and I like to invite all the Torrance area, even the South Bay area, who are looking for some beauty.
The salon has a new stylish color bar, upscale dry bars, and pedicure station. They offer a wide array of services such as keratin, scalp, and moisture oil treatments. They also use some of the top hair products. To check out the salon, head to zivahair.com or give them a call at 310-534-5434. Torrance Memorial Medical Center has a group of volunteers dedicated to helping its smallest patients recover. Here's the story.
Kathleen Warford comes in once a week and does exactly what she loves to do, cradling babies who are considered vulnerable and in need of love the most.
It's one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Every time I come to cuddle, I get to help a baby grow and be calm so that it can be healthy.
Warford has been volunteering for the past 6 years and is one of 35 baby cuddlers who comfort babies in the neonatal intensive care unit at Torrance Memorial Medical Center. Dr. Jerry Schwartz says warmth and comfort is just one way that could help improve a patient's future.
A baby who at one extreme is on a ventilator, who is sick, is suffering pain and anxiety, and the cuddler holds them or just puts their hand in the isolette and strokes them, and you see the babies calm down. You see their heart rates come down and stabilize. You see their breathing become more regular, and you can just sense that they're having less pain and anxiety.
These are the types of benefits Dr. Schwartz says are critical for babies in the NICU. The Baby Cuddler program started at Torrance Memorial over a decade ago, and the waitlist to become a cuddler has continued to grow. It's one of the few medical centers in the South Bay region to offer such a service. And the program wouldn't be possible without the passion and love shared by the volunteers who step in while parents are away.
Our parents can't be here 24/7. They have other kids, they have maybe they went back to work. So while they're not here, it's comforting for the parents to know that somebody's here always to be holding their baby if their baby needs to be held.
Mother Yvonne Gonzalez says she feels comfort knowing that her twin baby girls, Jocelyn and Jamie, are always under great care.
There's so much going through your mind as a parent when your babies are here, and they take a little bit of that edge off when I know they can come here and hold the babies and whatever they can do to help out.
Jocelyn and Jamie were born premature and have been at the NICU nursery now for 37 weeks.
Every day is like a miracle.
And for Warford, she hopes to continue this labor of love for Torrance Memorial's smallest, most precious patients. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Desiree Higuereta.
And in case you're thinking of volunteering, all cuddlers undergo background checks and training before starting the job. Well, March is National Nutrition Month, and joining us once again is local registered dietitian, nutritionist Vandana Sheth. Thanks so much for joining us. Tell us about, what do you think about that cuddling story?
It was fascinating.
Tell us about National Nutrition Month and why it's important.
So National Nutrition Month is a nutrition education and information campaign created by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and March is designated as National Nutrition Month. This year, the focus is put your best fork forward. It's a reminder that every bite counts. So just making small changes in our healthy eating habits can have a tremendous impact over time.
And tell us how we can change our eating habits this month.
So 4 simple steps. Number 1, enjoy a wide variety of foods. Second, definitely enjoy more home-cooked meals because you can control the ingredients you put in them. Third, it's not just what you eat, it's how much you eat that makes a difference. So use the My Plate to understand what are appropriate portions of different foods. And finally, of course, consult with a registered dietitian nutritionist. If you're local, I'd love to see you in my office. Otherwise, you can find a dietitian in your area by visiting eatright.org.
And what new types of food do you encourage people to incorporate in their diets?
It's back to the basics. Really, it's about enjoying a wide variety. So enjoy more whole grains such as quinoa, brown rice, whole grain tortilla. When you're talking about lean protein, let's make sure we're enjoying more plant-based protein such as beans, lentils, legumes. You can of course enjoy chicken and salmon and meat if that's something you like, but let's keep it lean. Enjoy heart-healthy fats such as avocados, nuts, seeds in your diet, and watch your portions.
That's what's important.
That's the key.
Your portions.
Be mindful. Small shifts can make a tremendous positive impact, and watch every bite. So put your best fork forward.
I'll remember that. Vandana, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like any more tips or questions for Vandana, go to vandanachef.com. Still ahead, a sneak peek at what's ahead on the sports desk, and we'll be back in just 60 seconds. Don't go away.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
=25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have a sneak peek of what's happening on the sports desk.
That's right, Byron. What do you have for us?
Hey, Jen and Ben, coming up on the sports desk, 3 teams with a Torrance, California address have made it to their CIFSS Division Championship games. See if they really have a chance at bringing home the title. Plus, word on the street is the city of Torrance could be home to the best girls youth softball league in Southern California. Find out what's going on the north side of town. Tune into the sports desk at 4 and 9:30 right here on CitiCABLE. Jen and Ben, back to you.
Thanks, Byron. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Jin Chun. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.